Hey, what's happening, everybody? Wednesday, November, jeez, what am I doing? January 22nd, 2025. My name is Kevin Smith. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Loud Majority Live. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. The age of American greatness has returned. We are very excited to announce multiple things that have been happening in the Congress and in the Senate over the course of the last several days. New Senate Majority Leader John Thune is not messing around. He is not messing around as Democrats continue to try to play games with Trump's nominees. He's not messing around. He's going to keep them in D.C. as long as they need to, which is good because, you know, that's kind of the way things go for the rest of us. You don't leave work until the job is done, which apparently their job is very much not done. This comes as the Laken Riley Act passes the Senate. Overwhelmingly, we're gonna go into Senate procedures so that you all understand what all needs to happen in the Senate for there to be a bill passed. It's a little bit different than the House, as that bill makes its way to the House and eventually to President Trump's desk. Also, immigration raids have begun. So if you are an illegal immigrant who has committed a crime in the United States, pack your bags. You're going home. You're going home, and Tom Homan is not messing around with that. Of course, this comes as the ACLU continues to try to sue the Trump administration over their nonsense. And if they want to sue the president, perhaps they should find a better spokesperson. I'm only saying spokesperson because, quite frankly, I'm not sure. I don't know if this person is a he. I don't know if they are a she, or if they are, in fact, a Muppet. We're going to get into all of that. Also, two of my friends got presidential pardons the other day over January 6th nonsense. So we're going to show you them. That would be Isabella DeLuca and Brandon Straka. Congratulations to two good friends of mine. They were on Fox last night. We're going to show you that clip. Before we get started, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. Share it out. Good things are happening. Let's get the live chat out. Marissa, thank you. Amy Mullins from Ohio. From Piqua, Ohio. Very nice. Let's see. Michelle Dew. Uncle Richie, how are you? AC, what's happening, guys? Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you share the video out all over the place. Share it out. Let's get this far and wide. Repost this if you're watching on X, if you're watching on Facebook. Do me a favor. Hit that @ button. Hit the @ button. Bingo bango. Tag all of your followers so that they know what's going on as well. Very good stuff. Let's pop the live chat on where we got. Boom, there it is. As we are rocking, as we are rolling here. Callie, how are you? Bob R, what's happening? What is going on, everybody? I'm super excited to be here. Got some big news coming out of the Senate. Look, I wasn't too thrilled with John Thune, if I'm being totally honest. But it seems as though things are getting a little bit better. Carl Adamson, how are you? Very good stuff. Want to welcome everybody in to the show. So, let's dive into the Laken Riley Act has passed the Senate. Now, why does this matter? Well, it passed with 64 votes in the Senate, which leads me to believe that some Democrats are beginning to see the light, that it turns out the American people do not want criminal aliens in the country. Now, obviously, many of you, myself being one of them, would say that if you came into the country illegally, you are a criminal and thus ought to be removed. However, many people have argued, Kevin, how are we going to deport all these people? What resources are going to be involved in doing so? And you're right, that is a complex question. So my answer to all of them is, why don't we start with the people who have been rearrested while in the country and convicted of a crime, like the guy who killed Laken Riley? Let's dive into this from the Post-Millennial. The Laken Riley Act passed the Senate with a vote of 64-35 Monday evening. The act that is likely to be signed into law by President Trump will force the Department of Homeland Security to detain illegal immigrants who are charged with theft-related crimes. It is the idea of broken windows policing taking to the problem of illegal immigration, where a person charged with a small crime could be on a path to commit another one. Absolutely. That is not out of the realm of possibility. And we've seen over the course of the last several years that many of the illegals who come in are part of organized criminal gangs, whether they are violent ones like Tren de Aragua, or they are just 10 or 15 people running into Saks Fifth Avenue and taking everything off the shelf and running out the door. That is now impetus to have yourself removed from the country. You know why? Because you don't get to take things that aren't yours. You don't get to rob people. You don't get to rob companies because they happen to make a lot of money. Now, someone like AOC is very upset by this because she believes that if you rob a store, it's because you're stealing formula or stealing bread. I want to be clear. I've worked in supermarkets. I've worked in different stores over the course of my life. I have never seen anyone arrested for shoplifting that was stealing formula. As a matter of fact, I think most people, chat, let me know how you feel about it, that if you saw a mother walking out of a Stop and Shop with a can of formula or diapers, I think most people, either A, in the store, would just pay for it, or B, the store owner would probably let them go. However, when you run out of a supermarket holding crab legs or shrimp or packets of steak, that is not the same thing. When you run in to Saks off Fifth and steal a bunch of handbags, that is not exactly the same thing as trying to feed your child. And any rational person knows that. But somebody like AOC, not all that bright. She's either not all that bright or she thinks you're stupid. I think it's number two. I'm going to roll the dice on that one. 33 of the 35 no votes were from Democrats, with 2 coming from independent senators Angus King and Bernie Sanders. Ahead of the vote on Friday, Trump was sworn into office focusing on illegal immigration and the border security in his inauguration speech. The bill passed the House earlier in January with a vote of 265 to 159. All of the no votes came from Democrats. An amended version of the act will have to go back to the House for another vote where I'm sure it will pass in the exact same way. The bill was introduced by Mike Collins, who is an awesome guy, but the slowest talker on planet Earth. If you ever met Mike Collins, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Slowest talker on the planet. And Senator Katie Britt. Cloture on the bill was invoked ahead of the final vote, meaning only a simple majority would be needed in order for the vote to pass without having to overcome the hurdle of the filibuster. Britt said that the bill ahead of the bill, ahead of its passage, this bipartisan bicameral legislation will save lives, and it will help prevent another American family from feeling the pain Lake and Riley's loved one feel every day. Now, I do not understand how a Democrat could vote against something like this and look people in the face. I don't understand how they can do it. Do I accept the fact that, look, some people break into the country because they actually are looking for a better life? Of that, I have no doubt. I have no doubt about that. And if we lived in a time where we had a check on our immigration system, I would be far more willing to consider letting those people in. Some mother in Guatemala is fleeing an abusive husband. She's got nowhere to go. I have compassion for these people. However, before we can even consider any of that, we've got to fix the problem at hand. We have to fix the problem at hand. Because if we do not fix the problem at hand, we will continue this invasion. The asylum process must be changed. So far, since the Biden administration took office, we have let in 6% of the total population of Haiti. That is just not okay. It is not the responsibility of America to take in the totality of the world's poor. And if we had a sane immigration policy where people were coming in who actually fled, war or famine or, generally fallen nations like Libya and just wanted to get out, I think most Americans would be okay with that. However, seeing the hordes of migrants coming over the border, most of whom are military-aged men, is just not something people are willing to stand for. And the raids have already begun. The raids have already begun all across the country. This was out of Chicago.
Those very individuals are inevitably going to get picked up by ICE while agents are trying to track down those who are the most dangerous. One example, Harris, during an ICE operation in Chicago back in 2018, agents arrested 156 migrants. Of those, only 74 had criminal convictions. The other half were folks who just got caught up and were collateral arrest. Tom Homan and others are warning we're almost certainly going to see a lot more of that because of these sanctuary policies. Harris?
And just so I'm clear, I mean, if they came here illegally, they already committed a crime. They broke our laws of sovereignty. So there's 156. Yes, 74 had committed crimes either in their former countries or in this one. But the balance of that was, from what you're saying, and that's what I want to get straight, they were here illegally anyway.
Here illegally, not violent criminals, though. And that's what the administration is focusing on in this initial set of operations.
All right. That's helpful. Gary.
The raids have already begun. And thank God, it turns out these people are not screwing around. Guys like Tom Homan were serious when they said these things were going to happen. As a matter of fact, according to ICE, they've arrested 308 illegal aliens during the first day of the Trump term. The new border czar, Tom Homan, of the Trump administration, said that ICE had arrested 308 illegal immigrants, or the new term illegal alien, on Tuesday alone. President Trump was sworn into office on Monday. He said ICE is doing their job, per the New York Post. He said that the first people who were rounded up were those who posed serious threats to public safety, and there were some 700,000 people of that nature in the United States currently. Good. Grab them. Let's go. The people who they scooped up in the last 24 hours were responsible for crimes such as murder and child rape. Yeah, I don't think we need them in the country anymore. Homan vowed to hit the ground running after he was appointed to his post shortly after President Trump won the White House back in November. Since then, he has been revealing how the mass deportations operations promised under Trump all could work. The first step, he said, is to deport those who have committed serious crimes in addition to crossing the border illegally, such as those who are in jail facing charges or having detainers for their arrest already. Just 1 week prior to Trump taking office, the first ICE plans were leaked to the press, which reported that deportations would begin in Chicago. Homan revamped the plan to account for the security concerns and then jumped ahead anyway. In the brief hours since Trump took office, the border at El Paso has since been closed down. Flights for refugees seeking entry into the United States have been canceled, and the CBP One app, which allows those intending to enter the country to access scheduled surrender times at the port of entry, has been shut down. Now, look, am I foolish enough to think that this is not going to cause some consternation? Absolutely. Is this going to lead to a blip in the economy? For sure. You start rounding up illegal immigrants with criminal records, there's going to be a lot of restaurants out there who don't have anybody to make your foie gras. However, it needs to happen. This is necessary, and this is what was promised. So far, Donald Trump has kept over 45 of his promises that he made on the campaign trail. He's been in office for like 60 hours. Not even. What time is it, 2 o'clock? Like 50 hours. I said it on yesterday's show. If you watched President Trump during the inauguration, it seemed like he was kind of annoyed by the entire thing. Like, it seemed like he was like, why am I here? We have work to do. Let's get going. And that's the way he's run all of his businesses, and that is the way he has always operated. And we need more of that. We need more of that. We need that sort of culture to take hold throughout the government. Some people don't like it, but he signed an executive order saying that you have to go back to work and you don't get to work in your pajamas anymore. That's good. Now, will that lead to some issues? For sure. I'm sure there are many people out there, single moms and People who take care of elderly relatives who probably made plans over the course of the last 5 years that didn't require them to go into the office? Absolutely. But since the beginning of time, people have figured out a way to do it. And it's time for us to go back to the beginning of time. Or 6 years ago. See, that's what's so ironic about all of Donald Trump's executive orders, is that they're not very radical. All they do is take us back like 6 years. 10, maybe. You know, the two-gender thing. Don't hire people based on their race. Basic stuff. The border not being wide open. The government not persecuting its citizens. This is not hard stuff. And the left continues to freak out about this. Because here's what the left didn't understand about the Donald Trump era. And what many on the right seem to be having a very difficult time grasping. Maybe it's because the lobbyists on K Street don't, or the consultants or whatever they are over there, don't understand, is that we knew what we were getting. We want it, and we're getting it. And we don't need you anymore. We don't need your consultants. We don't need your lobbying money. We, the people, are what matter. And that is why I've told you guys for the last couple of weeks, since Donald Trump won, it is not going to be Democrats. It is not going to be the Uniparty that hampers the growth and the future of the America First populist movement. It's going to be complacency. If you sit back and you don't attend your board meetings, and you don't go to your school board meetings, and you don't put pressure on your local legislators who may be giant assholes, like one guy in particular who got hit in the head with a golf ball and told me to sit down and shut up the other day, who's about to get his ass handed to him in a couple of days. If you don't apply pressure on those people, then we allow those roots to take hold once again. And that cannot happen, because then we will have squandered an opportunity here to really make a difference in our lives. And that is the promise of America. The promise of America is not the white picket fence and a home. The promise of America is that you control your own destiny, not the rich. Your life is not any worse because Elon Musk is going to Mars. Your life is your life, and grab it by the horns and take it. Now, sometimes you have no control over the things that happen. Like, let's say you were at the Capitol on January 6th and they wanted to throw you in jail for touching a table, which happened to a friend of mine named Isabella DeLuca. Well, she has gotten a pardon along with a friend of mine named Brandon Straka. We're going to get to them in just 1 second. Before we do that, Mike Lindell.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog beds.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Guys, head on over to MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD, for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. Let's say hello to the other chats. Deb DeMayo, how are you? Mara Martin, how are you? Mary Ellen, what's going on? Amy Mullins, Terry Nove, what's going on? What is going on? Happy to see all of you guys. Make sure if you're watching on Facebook, you guys hit that like button. Hit the @ button on your screen. Tag your followers so that they can watch the show as well. Shout out to everybody watching there over on Rumble, over on X. Giddy up. Let's go. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a whole hell of a lot. Let's see who's in the chat. Any new people in the chat today? You guys know I always like to see all the new faces in here. You guys know I like to see all the new faces. 1,000 people watching. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's get those up. Let's get those up. So, as I said before, 2 of my friends were granted pardons under President Trump's sweeping pardons for January 6th. One of them, of course, was the founder of the Walkaway movement, Brandon Straka. Another was a kid from Long Island, Isabella DeLuca, who's a good friend of mine, who basically did nothing on that day. She touched a table, and they tried to get her locked up for a year for stealing government property. Here she was on Laura Ingraham last night talking about that.
Well, I'm trying to get my head around. Take the table. Did you remove a table from the Capitol?
No, I touched a table. Like, I put my hand on a table, and they accused me of stealing the table, theft of government property, and they came to me with a plea deal the day before the election, saying that if I pled guilty to stealing the table, which carried a maximum sentence of 1 year in prison and a $100,000 fine, that they would drop.
Sorry about that. There doesn't appear to be any sound on that. I can't imagine why. There doesn't appear to be any sound there. That's very odd. Was there sound coming out? That's weird. Oh, yes, there were. Hold on. Let's play that one more time.
Well, I'm trying to get my head around. Take the table. Did you remove a table from the Capitol?
No, I touched a table. Like, I put my hand on a table, and they accused me of stealing the table, theft of government property, and they came to me with a plea deal the day before the election, saying that if I pled guilty to stealing the table, which carried a maximum sentence of 1 year in prison and a $100,000 fine, that they would drop my trespassing charges.
This is, Brandon, you've been on me for years on this. I'm so glad you told your story. Isabella, we're going to continue covering this because I think actually people have to really understand what happens with these prosecutors and how these cases go down, because this could happen again unless this is prevented from happening again. Brandon, Isabella, both of you.
It needs to be prevented from ever, ever, ever happening again. And that's just one story of hundreds, thousands of stories. People know the big ones. They know Enrique Tarrio. They know Joey Biggs, who got 20 some odd years in prison despite not even being in town. That's a 25-year-old kid. $100,000 fine. You might as well lock me up for the rest of my life if I got fined $100,000. But they don't really seem to care. And no one, and myself included, no one can truly appreciate what it feels like when the weight of the government comes down on you. Because they have unlimited resources, and they do not care. And that's why these pardons are so important. Yes, they were important because so many of these people did nothing wrong. But perhaps some of the people who did this, some of the judges, and some of the prosecutors are going to feel the weight on their back. The people who enhanced so many of these charges for no reason other than to prove a point. We need more of it. And I hope we do get more of it. We're going to move on in a second, just the way we're talking about how things are changing. Things are changing in a very drastic way. Before we get to that, guys, hit the thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. I've got a big announcement, I think I've got a big announcement. Stay tuned on Friday's show. We're gonna have something really fun on Friday's show. I don't want to give it away yet, but I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. I think you guys are really, really going to enjoy it. Well, let's see. What do we got here? Breaking at this hour. Speaker Johnson appears to find his stones. Let's see if I can pull this up real quick. He says that he will be investigating the pardons of the Biden crime family. Now, as I said on yesterday's show, Joe Biden's family cannot be charged for anything that they did. However, they can be called to testify about the things that they accepted pardons for. Now, a couple things people need to know about pardons. Number one, You do not have to accept a pardon. If you are offered it, you don't have to take it. Because if you take a pardon, you are admitting guilt to something. What that may be will very much depend on the charges facing you afterwards. But if you accept the pardon and you get called to testify before Congress, you cannot plead the fifth on it because you are no longer in danger of self-incrimination. So I would be very interested to see the House of Representatives call Joe Biden's entire family and ask them why exactly it is old Joe thought they needed a pardon in the first place. Here's Speaker Johnson.
Mr. Speaker, to potentially have any type of congressional action on the pardons that President Biden issued over the last couple of days?
It was shocking. I mean, it was shocking what President Biden did on the way out, pardoning his family for more than a decade of whatever activity, any nonviolent offenses. It was breathtaking to us. I don't think that's anything like that's ever been anticipated. And by the way, go look at the tape. 4 years ago, when it was just implied that President Trump might do something similar, they were apoplectic. Joe Biden himself, Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer, roll the tape. They all said that would be crazy and unconscionable, and now they're cheering it along. To us, it is disgusting. To us, it probably proves the point, the suspicion that, they call it the Biden crime family. If they weren't the crime family, why do they need pardons, right? Look, there's a lot of attention that's going to be paid to this, and I think that is appropriate, and we will be looking at it as well. So, yeah.
Thank God Speaker Johnson is actually going to look into this. Now, do I think that a lot of you are going to get the result out of this that you want? I hate to break it to you, but you're probably not going to. Sure, the truth will come out, but what does that really mean? As usual, no one will go to jail. No one will be penalized. But at least we can find out what actually happened. Same with Anthony Fauci. Same with General Milley. Somebody call Liz Cheney's fat ass to come testify. I shouldn't have said that. That's mean. Somebody call Liz Cheney's fat ass to come testify. I'm allowed to say that because I'm a member of that community. Call her to testify before this about destroying documents. General Milley, conduct unbecoming. Anthony Fauci, perjury. Let's get them all on the stand. See if they take whatever pardons it is. Press them. Punish them. And not because of some allegiance to the president or some monarchical feeling. Because people need to learn that there are negative consequences for bad actions. Instead of just retiring off into the sunset with your pension. When you lie to the public, people ought to be called out for it. And called out swiftly and called out publicly. And if you don't like that, then either don't get into public service or don't lie to people when you do. Some people should figure that out. And they should figure it out faster than they currently are. Another place where things are changing is the United States Senate. Now, I want to be clear about a couple of things about the Senate. The Senate was meant to be slow. The Senate was meant to not ebb and flow with the times. That's why originally the Senate was not popularly elected. It was appointed by state legislatures. For the first pretty much half of the country, for the first 125 years of the country-ish, you didn't vote for your senators. You voted for your state legislatures who appointed senators. That gave states much, much, much more power in who they appointed. That's why they're there for 6 years and the House of Representatives is there for 2. So the Senate is supposed to be a slog. It's supposed to be the sludge that stops the changing of the times so that things don't shift too radically too often, that we remain even-keeled in that sort of setting. That's why many bills in the House, you need 60 votes and not just a straight majority. However, John Thune has had a new idea. John Thune has got a new idea on that whole sort of setting. And he is ready to make the Senate finally work. See, right now what the Senate is doing is they're attempting to hold up all of Donald Trump's nominees with procedural baloney, procedural BS. For example, CIA Director John Ratcliffe was voted out of the Intelligence Committee 14-3 on a bipartisan basis. But now Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut has decided to put a slog on that. He's decided to say, wait. We want to do some more of this. We want to do some more procedural things just to delay this over and over and over again. And John Thune's not having it. He is not having it at all. Telling the Senate, look, guys, we'll stay here as long as we have to. And if there's one thing people in Congress, people in the Senate don't want to do, it's work too much. But John Thune is telling them, guys, you're not going home. You're not going home. We'll be here as long as it takes.
I was listening to the chair of the Intelligence Committee just a moment ago talking about this nominee, and I was curious. I asked the Senator from Arkansas, the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, what was the vote coming out of committee for Mr. Radcliffe?
The vote was 14-3.
Okay, so 14-3 coming out of the committee. And we've now wasted a whole day where we could have been acting on that nomination. And so really, I think the question before the House is, do we want to vote on these folks on Tuesday or vote on them on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? Because that's what we're going to do. This can be easy or this can be hard. This is a nominee that came out of the Intelligence Committee 14-3. It is a bipartisan nomination to the Central Intelligence Agency. This is about America's national security interests. And we're stalling. So that's not going to happen. We're going to file cloture on them. You can force us to staying around here, and we can vote on these things Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But we're going to vote on them. And this one shouldn't be hard, folks. I understand there are some that are going to draw some opposition from the other side of the aisle. But Democrats and Republicans, in a very big bipartisan fashion, agree that he is very qualified for this job, that is an important job to America's national security interests, and frankly, I believe we ought to fill it as soon as we possibly can. So it's going to be a big vote here on the floor. Everything we're doing right now is just stalling. And I don't know what that accomplishes for you, but we're going to be here voting on them. So
they're going to keep them as long as they have to. And good. If you're going to make that kind of money, if you're going to have that kind of power over the American people, maybe you should work on weekends. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. Of course, Donald Trump's executive orders are being challenged immediately by the American Civil Liberties Union, which has long since passed its expiration date. Of course, the ACLU no longer protects American civil liberties. They protect Americans' cringiest liberals. That's what we should call it from now on. America's cringiest liberal union. I'm going to work on that acronym, I promise. Currently, the ACLU is suing for at least 2 of the executive orders Donald Trump has put into place. Number 1, the fact that men and women are the only 2 genders. This is very odd. What's even funnier is the person that the ACLU has put out in front to make this. Look, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm really not. But how badly do you have to mangle your body to come up with this voice?
Any instructions in this one executive order, including this directive to HUD to issue proposed regulations to, in essence, exclude trans people from various forms of shelter system under the auspices that a trans person is an inherent threat to non-transgender women. Obviously, that just enhances the risk that transgender people face in society if we are deemed as a threat to others simply by existing. And
look, I don't know if that's a man. I don't know if that's a woman. It kind of sounds like Elmo. I don't know what you got to do. That can't be healthy. It can't be healthy. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It sounds like he's been sucking on helium. Is it a guy? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not the most front-facing person you should have when trying to make a coherent argument about your exceeding mental illness. Men and women exist. I hate to break it to you. The left just can't admit it. Because there are two factions of the left. There is the one side of the left that has lost all tether to reality. Those are the really, really strange-looking people you see on TikTok. And then there are the people... who are afraid to speak the truth. And those people I'm more mad at than the craziest of the people on the left. It is because of their cowardice that people like this exist. That people like the first group exist. But we're done with that. We're done with that. We're getting word now that the entire federal government is dismissing all of their DEI offices, which literally can't come soon enough. That can't happen fast enough. DEI and all of those initiatives, social emotional learning, has been the biggest detriment to the American success story ever. Ever. All it does is promote more racism. All it does is promote hostility between the genders and between the races. And there have been a lot of people like me. I got to tell you, a lot of people, myself being one of them, we've been on this tip for a long, long time. And it is so great that so many people over the last couple of years are finally starting to come around to this. Come around to the idea that just how detrimental this crap is. Just how negative this is. Just how bad it is. The amount of money, the amount of people who made millions and millions of dollars off of this race hustling is shocking to me. But it's not their fault. I don't blame them, because snake oil salesmen will always exist. I blame the people who are too afraid to say stop. I blame the people who would cozy up to me off to the side and say, I wish I could say the things you say, but I've just got a job. And I'm like, yeah, so did I. So did a lot of other people. But we all drew the line, and we all said enough is enough. And more people needed to do that as well. Maybe we could have gotten this crap over with a little bit faster. Maybe we would have been too big to rig in 2020, and this shit would have never continued. Maybe you would have got the merit-based promotion you got at your job instead of the diversity promotion. And disingenuous and bad people will always try to call you names. No one is saying that anything other than black... nobody is saying anything other than white, straight men are good and merit-based at their jobs. What we're saying is that merit should be the only thing and nothing else. And unfortunately, it's taken too long to get it fixed. But we're starting to see that maybe people are waking up to this. Maybe they're starting to wake up to this. Guys, before we keep rocking and rolling here, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. Share it out. What do we got? We got 1,200 people watching. I'm liking it a lot. What's happening, everybody? New York Patriot, how are you? Moose for Trump, how are you? Patty Vest, what's going on? Sherry, I see Sherry Z in the chat. Now I'm singing the Four Seasons. It's just what I do. It was the mustache that did it for me in combination with the... I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure that's a woman that I showed. But, even women I know don't have voices like that. I don't know how a person... it's very Muppet-esque. They kind of sound like Elmo. It's very odd. Ricky Coates, what's happening? Florida for Trump, how are you guys? What is happening? somebody on Facebook named Fetus Rick. That's a weird name. That's a weird one, guys. If you're watching on X, make sure you retweet the video. If you're watching on Facebook, do me a favor, hit that share button. It really helps the show grow, really helps the page grow. The goal is to get to 50,000 on the Loud Majority Facebook, and we are getting closer and closer every single day. New York Patriot, I'm great. Waiting for the Mets. Waiting for Pete Alonso to sign with our Mets. I got a feeling you're going to be waiting a while for that one, my friend. I got a feeling you're going to be waiting for a while. But as you wait, guys, head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. That is your home base, your mothership, your landing pad for all things LFA TV related. Check out the LFA TV store. And while you guys are there, consider becoming a monthly donor over here at the network. That is the best way to support us and everything we've got going on over here. We can't do it without your help. Can't do it without your help. Look, this is user-generated content, and we can't keep the network going if not for you guys. So, guys, head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. Jennifer, what's up, Kevin? Met you at the Douglaston Mall. What's going on? Welcome to the party. Live here, 1 p.m. every single day. Great to have you. Very good to have you. Let's see. Let's keep rocking and rolling here. Oh, this is big. This is big, and this is something I don't really understand. I don't really understand why this was ever a thing. But Donald Trump has revoked the security clearance for John Bolton, as well as 51 agents who said that the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian disinformation. Now, before we even get into the story, I don't really understand why, if you have security clearance, you know, let's say you're a colonel or a major, or you're part of the intel community. I don't really understand why once you leave government, you keep your security clearance. Like, if I leave a job, I have to give the keys back. If I leave a job and I have a company car, I got to give them the car back. I don't really understand why a person would keep their security clearance once they've left the gig. But apparently, in the American government, you get to do that. This from the Post Millennial. President Donald Trump has revoked the security clearance for the former National Security Advisor, John Bolton, the man who should not have a mustache. I want to be clear. Only 3 people on Earth are allowed to have a mustache. Tom Selleck, Keith Hernandez, and that one actor whose name I can never remember, who's in all of the Western movies. Somebody in the chat tell me who I'm talking about. I think he was in 1883. Trump wrote the release about the order about Bolton, quote, published a memorandum for monetary gain after he was terminated from the White House position in 2019, adding the book was rife with sensitive information drawn from his time in the government. Sam Elliott, yes, thank you. I tell you what, I got the best damn chat in the world. I ask you guys a question and you answer it. Boom, like that. Eli, come on, bro. I'm in the middle of a rant. You can't, Eli. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a rant. You can't bring up Seinfeld. You're killing me. Nice game, pretty boy. That's funny. What the hell was I talking about now? Back to the article. John Bolton. He wrote that the 51 intel agents signing onto the letter made the false allegations about the Hunter Biden laptop, that they coordinated with the Biden campaign to issue a letter discrediting the reporting that Joseph R. Biden Jr.'s son had abandoned a laptop at a computer repair store. The letter led to the censorship of the story online. The move to take away the clearance was part of one of the 200 executive orders that Trump signed when he came into office. To remedy these abuses of the public trust, this order directs the revocation of any active or current security clearances held by former intel officers who engaged in misleading and inappropriate political coordination with the 2020 Biden campaign and John Bolton. That's funny as hell. That's funny as hell. That he just goes, anybody who was involved with the Hunter Biden laptop and John Bolton. Some of the people on the list would be James Clapper, the guy who lied to us about 9/11, Michael Hayden, former head of the CIA, Leon Panetta, who is a complete warmonger and should have anything to do with this. The order noted that 2 signatories of the letter, Patty Brandmeier and Brett Davis, have since died. So Donald Trump revoked the security clearance of 2 dead people, which is really funny. What the hell is this? Hold on. Something just came across the wire here. There's a report out. I think it's from the Daily Mail. Hold on a minute. I got to look this up real quick. Daily Mail. Hold on a minute. I got to see this. Apparently, there's a report out that Kamala Harris is blaming her husband for the election loss. I got to find this. I will find that and I will bring it to you. Absolutely. I will definitely find that and bring it to you real quick if I can get it. Or maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow when more comes out about it. Wow, that's pretty funny. If she is blaming her election loss on her husband, who we know she beats. We know she beats him. Poor Doug Emhoff. Apparently, he has already taken a job at a New York law firm. So for all my New Yorkers out there, just know that the rumors were true. Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff may be residing in the Big Apple. I hope they enjoy paying their $9 congestion pricing. I really hope I can find this. She's reportedly blaming Doug Emhoff and his scandals. Where he allegedly beat the shit out of an ex-girlfriend, which is just funny to me. It's just funny to me that she's literally throwing Dougie Boy under the bus. That's funny as hell. Nothing like a good woman to throw your husband under the bus after you just got completely and utterly shellacked. Nothing like it. Guys, before we keep rocking and rolling here, because we got some more fun stuff I want to get to, hit the thumbs up button, share the video out all over the place. We got about 9 minutes left of the show. Guys, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. You guys can pick up these phenomenal Donald Trump Valentine's Day cards to let everyone you know you actually love them. I'll never deport you, baby. I like that. I want to get that one in the mail. I love you bigly. My love is not fake news. Oh, that's funny as hell. I love these. Guys, pick them up today, as well as all the other good stuff we've got over at the Loud Majority shop. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got so much fun stuff over there. Guys, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. We got the inauguration candles. We got look at this. Look at all this fun stuff. All the good stuff over here at the Loud Majority. Checked it out today. We got joggers. We got, look at that, all the fun stuff. The Trumpomania shirts, we got bathing suits. If you live in a place where it's warm, even though I don't know of any place on planet Earth that is currently warm, you can pick those up today, loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Let's move on here. Oh, yes, the last story that I did want to get to today. Apparently, the full contents of the Oval Office letter that Joe Biden left Donald Trump has been released. This could be fun. I have not read this yet. So I am going to be reading it alongside all of you at the exact same time. This is going to be good. The full contents of the letter former President Biden left Donald Trump has been revealed. It says, it's pretty short actually. Dear President Trump, as I take leave of this sacred office, I wish you and your family all the best for the next 4 years. The American people and people around the world look to this house for steadfastness in the inevitable storms of history. And my prayer is that in the coming years, the coming years will be a time of prosperity, peace, and grace for our nation. May God bless you and guide you as he has blessed and guided our beloved country since the founding. Joe Biden. Wow. Wow. That's it? That's the whole thing? That's what we that was the big reveal? Here's Fox News reporting it.
We begin with Peter Doocy. He's live on the White House lawn. And Peter, this is only the third time in our history we have a letter exactly like this one. What does it say?
And Kaylee, we saw the other night on Monday, just a few minutes after President Trump returned to the Oval Office, I asked him if the president left him a letter. He hadn't checked yet. He opened up the drawer. We were only able to see the outside of the envelope that said 47. We can report now, for the first time anywhere in the world, this history-making text of what it said on the inside. The letterhead was of Joseph R. Biden Jr. It said President of the United States. And his cursive handwriting that I reviewed was difficult to read at times, but this is what I got from the letter. Let's read it together. Dear President Trump, as I take leave of this sacred office, I wish you and your family all the best in the next 4 years. The American people and people around the world look to this house for steadiness in the inevitable storms of history. And my prayer is that in the coming years will be a time of prosperity, peace, and grace for our nation. May God bless you and guide you as he has blessed and guided our beloved country since our founding. Joe Biden, 1/2025. And that is it.
That appears to be it. That's the whole kit and caboodle. Apparently, he wrote it himself, judging by Peter Doocy's reporting here. But, judging by Peter Doocy's reporting, it seems like he wrote it himself, which is probably why it was so short. That's all the words he could muster overall. That's pretty wild that we get that sort of insight into what all the president is thinking. He literally said virtually nothing, which almost to me sounds like his entire presidency in a nutshell. Oh, we're gonna have some fun with this one. I got a story tomorrow. Apparently, Gen Z is having some fights with their liberal parents. That's some funny shit. So we're gonna have some fun with that one tomorrow. Absolutely. So it looks like the kids are gonna be all right. We are also getting reports at the moment, unconfirmed, that apparently, are you ready for this? Apparently, the JFK files could be released as early as today. We will bring you more on that as it comes. Hold on a minute. We're also getting other reports here just in. 2 students have been shot by another student at Nashville High School before the attacker turned the gun on himself. The incident happened at Antioch High School. The school is on lockdown due to shots being fired inside of the school building. Metro Police are on the scene. The person responsible is no longer a threat. The 3 people have been wounded, including the suspect who shot himself. It is unclear as to their conditions. That's breaking at the moment. Apparently there was a shooting at a school in Nashville. I'm sure everyone on the network will bring you guys that as it happens. Obviously, we're praying for the victims here. If there were only 2 people shot, it seems like it may have been a more targeted attack than, let's see here.
We're following a breaking news alert now. Metro Police report 2 students shot at Antioch High School. Megan Fees at the WKRN.com alert desk.
Yeah, 2 students were shot. This is from Bo Diddle, excuse me. The school's under lockdown. Metro PD confirmed the threat has been detained. That's it's some pretty sad stuff, but hopefully everything works out over there. Hopefully all the kids are safe, as many as possible. Once again, we'll probably bring you this stuff throughout the network throughout the day. Guys, keep it locked in here. Will Johnson is going to be coming up next right here on this network. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button on your way out the door. Did we break 300? We just broke 300. I'm liking the fact that we're getting 300 every single day. Giddy up, let's go. Giddy up, let's go. I'm liking it. I am liking it a lot. Guys, I will catch you guys back live tomorrow. Head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Until tomorrow, everybody, stay loud.